Hello. Hello.
Hi. We ready to go? Alright. By the way, before we start, I just explain to people in the stream, the colors are messed up because the component cables for my Wii are busted, so there's no blue color being outputted, so it's gonna look very green. That's a thing. I'm sorry. Alright, I'm ready to start. So, this is Shadow the Hedgehog. If you never played it before, it plays very similarly to the Sonic Adventure era of games. The biggest difference is the one, there's only the speed character. There's no, like, treasure hunting, there's no mech levels, there's no team mechanics, there's just Shadow. And the other big difference is obviously, you know, guns. A lot of people like to say this game is basically Sonic with guns. They're not wrong. We're going to be using guns a lot throughout the game because a lot of the routing for this game involves trying to kill a bunch of enemies without slowing down, and guns are useful because enemies have health bars, and you can very easily just, like, shoot down enemies as you run past them. The reason we do this is because this game has a feature called Chaos Control. And in this game, what Chaos Control does is it lets you just fly through the level really fast and skip a bunch of stuff, and obviously that's useful for speedruns. And it fills up every time we kill the evil alien enemies. And that allows us to just skip a bunch of the level. And you may notice that the category for this is neutral, any percent, no Chaos Control glitch. Because there's a glitch with Chaos Control in this game, where if you use it as you're opening up a checkpoint menu, you kill that enemy, then the meter on the top right doesn't go down when you use it. And that basically allows you to use infinite Chaos Control. And there, this is what Chaos Control looks like. You just completely fly through the level. And because that, in the last like year and a half, the no CCG variants of categories have gone really popular. They're probably probably more popular than 90% at this point. And it makes the game a lot more movement focused. It makes it a lot less focused on just killing enemies as fast as possible. Instead, using Chaos Control as efficiently as possible, like at the best place. And we're coming up here on the end of Wasopolis. One thing that guns are really helpful for is that you can shoot down the environmental objects in your way. And that's really helpful to save time. So that's Wasopolis. Coming up next is Glyphic Canyon. And Glyphic Canyon is going to be the first level where we're going to be using special weapons. There are a lot of special weapons in this game. Like, there's a lot of endings, and whenever you get various endings, you unlock special weapons. They're really powerful. For this level, we're going to be using the Omochao gun. And the Omochao gun fires really powerful bullets. In the first, basically one-shots every enemy. Not as much in the later levels. That makes it really good. As well as the fact that whenever it like hits an enemy, it'll like bounce back and forth between enemies. And you get a bunch of small enemies or a bunch of environmental objects at once, and it's really helpful for that. We're going to be using it for both Glyphic Canyon and Prison Island, the level right after this. We're going to start at the very beginning by ring dashing. Ring dashing is very useful in this game because it just brings you up to top speed really quickly, and it's a lot more consistent than a lot of the other 3D Sonics. I'm going to skip this loop at the start because it's slow. And this dash panel is really slow. Like, you wouldn't believe it. It wastes like 5 seconds to take that dash panel. It's kind of ridiculous how slow you fall to the ground. Shadow Box is where all the special weapons are. We can also skip the animation of the like picking up the gun by like jumping into it. That saves a good amount of time, and we use that whenever we can. Once again, skipping loops. I'm gonna do a little camera trick. This does not save any time at all, but it looks funny. You press C down as you enter this tornado. The camera messes up. It's really cool. So coming up next, we're gonna be doing this trick called a spin dash high jump. So whenever you use a spin dash in this game, you get a lot of horizontal momentum, and if you use it on a slope and jump, you can redirect all of that momentum upwards. And we're gonna use this to get a lot of height. Hopefully I get this first try because I'll die if I fail it, and it's really tricky. I'm gonna use this object up here. Got it. There we go. That saves a few seconds from having to go around this big loop. But the camera trick only works on the first tornado, not any of the other ones. We're gonna skip another big loop over here. Like, you can kind of see as we fall down, you like go around a loop in a circle and go to the left. We can just jump. Oh no! Damn. Yeah, sometimes you can hit that ring. You want to try to make sure you don't hit those rings when you start up a spin dash, because they're both bound to the same button. So sometimes that happens. It's tricky. And that's bad because I lose all of my hero meter. Normally, I would, if I didn't die, I would use Chaos Control up in that temple up there. And it would bring me past this giant tornado section. But because I died, I lose all my meter, and I just have to go through it normally. That's fine, though. Of course, it happens. I get the spin dash high jump, but I fail just the easier one afterwards. So normally, when we use Chaos Control through this section, it wouldn't actually drop us until we're past the tornado, because the game does the thing where it's like, it doesn't want to drop you in like a dangerous area or like over a pit. So the game's like, no, we're going to keep Chaos Control even though the meter runs out until you're over, like, you know, safe land, which would be past this tornado cutscene, which we'd normally be able to skip if I didn't die. But that's fine. So that's Glyphic Canyon. Coming up next is Prison Island, and we're going to be doing the Dark mission. So far we've only been going for the gold rings, but there are different missions for every level. And the missions are kind of like Team Chaotix levels in Sonic Heroes, where it's like, you know, beat all the enemies in level or get a certain number of collectibles. And they bring you to different levels in the path. So even though this is neutral, we're going to go off the neutral path and then back to the neutral path at the end, because that's the fastest way to get to the neutral endings. So Prison Island, the Dark mission is to kill all of the gun soldier enemies. We have to kill 40 enemies in the level. And again, the Omochar gun's really helpful because it can kill a bunch of enemies really fast. And not having to slow down. We jump backwards at the very beginning of this level because there's like a booster right where, right behind you, and that saves a tiny bit of time. We're gonna pick up a normal gun until we get to the first shadow box and can get the Omochar gun. Also, Charmy's everyone's favorite character. Awesome. Anyway, so right here, there's this acid river, and we're on a vehicle because if we were on the ground, we just take damage. So we ride the vehicle across the river. However, there's going to be another one of these rivers in the level later, and we're not going to ride it because whenever you fill up either of the 2 meters, if you're not using the ability, you get invincibility and infinite ammo, which is really helpful. Use the shadow box, and that just allows us to run past the entire river and just keep like running gunning enemies. I missed this enemy right here. There we go. I almost didn't notice that. I usually don't. There we go. I needed to make sure I preserved ammo there, so I was a bit careful with how I was shooting there. Oh, I have more than enough ammo. Never mind. Oh, I tried to do another spin dash high jump there. You can do it off the corner of that platform. And this saves a small bit of time, but luckily I don't die if I fail that one. It's worth going for once. Anyway, so this is, like I said, you have invincibility. You can run over this river, and even though I have 4 ammo, I can just continuously fire, and it's really good. And there's a lot of enemies here, so we just run down and shoot all of them. There we go. 2 more enemies on the drop here, and that's it. There we go. That's Prison Island. Coming next is the Doom. And if you've ever played this game, then you know that the Doom is just this awful, convoluted maze of a level. And it's really confusing to pass because everything looks the same, and it's weird. But we're going to just completely destroy this level because it's... The fact it's a maze means, like, parts of it, like, go backwards in on itself. So, like, you'll reach a door that's locked on one side, and then, like, half of the level later, you'll be on the other side of that door, and you can unlock it from the other side. We're going to use this fact. We're just going to unlock it from the front side of that door. Using another special weapon, the satellite laser. It basically, you home in on the switch through the wall, and it just fires a giant laser at it and opens it. It's pretty crazy. Also, we're putting out fires to fill up the hero meter because there's no aliens in this level. There we go. And that skips 2/3 of the level. Like, that doesn't look like much. It skips a lot of the level by a very simple exploit. But that's not even the only way to skip through that door. By the way, we're chaos controlling right to the goal ring. We're already there. That's not the only way to get through that door. There are 3 different ways to jump out of bounds over the door. It's really funny, just like how useless that door is. So coming up next is Hedgehog, which is a kind of tricky boss fight. The route's pretty simple. It's just like hit him a bunch until he drops one of his guns. Use his guns to keep hitting him a bunch, make him drop more guns, and just melt him. It's pretty simple, but actually playing it is a lot more complicated than it sounds. There's a lot of improv and like making sure where he drops his guns if you can, or picking them up when you can. Dealing with whatever patterns he gets, because it's not consistent, but it's a fun boss though. Oh no. If I take damage, it's faster to just reset, because the easiest way to get a gun is while he's doing this like big circle attack. There we go. There we go. Drop the gun. What? Why did he... Okay, he dropped one of his guns, I think. Where'd it go? No, he didn't, actually. That's really bad patterns. I think all my missiles, like, didn't hit him. Oh, just under him. This is really bad. Okay, got him to drop another gun. Yeah, I just got some really bad patterns. So you can, his only has hitboxes on the... Oh, that's actually really good. The second half of it, I went a lot better. He only has hitboxes on the gun slots and his cockpit, which makes it really tricky that if you're not distancing yourself right, your missiles will hit his body instead of the places that can actually damage him, and your shots are meaningless. So I just lost all my ammo in that first thing. I don't think that's actually happened to me in a run before. It's really bad. That's fine, though. Coming up next is Air Fleet. Air Fleet, we're going to be doing the hero mission to get back to the neutral path. And the hero mission for this level is to kill all the alien enemies. Before we kill all the gun soldier enemies, now we're going to kill all the alien enemies and get back to the neutral path. And it's pretty straightforward. Like, all the enemies are in a straight path. It's hard to really miss any of them, like the one that I almost missed in Prison Island. But we're going to be using a different gun this level. We're going to be using the Shadow Rifle. The Shadow Rifle is the most powerful gun in the game. Basically, its only attribute is that it one-shots every single enemy, which is really good because there's these really high HP golem enemies in this level, and they would take 3 shots with the Yomo-Chow gun, but only 1 shot with a Shadow Rifle, which is really useful. By the way, my game, I'm running in Italian. There is no reason for this. A few months ago, I just set my language to Italian, and I haven't set it back yet to English. Looks kind of funny. There we go. By the way, there's also these like doors in the level, and you can kind of, if you run through them right, you can keep... I need to kill that guy. I almost missed him. If you hit them right, you can keep a bunch of speed going through them. I missed it there. If you jump dash into them as they're opening just right, or you run diagonally into it, there we go, I got it there. You're able to keep a bunch of speed going through the door, which is really useful in saving time. And they're kind of tricky to do, but they feel really good when you get them. By the way, I'm going to spin dash on this rail to get a lot of speed and go like way over the grinding speed cap. You're going to see this a lot in the next level. It's very useful there. We're going to use this invincibility to go over this electrified rail. Oop. Oh, I lost a bunch of speed. Sometimes that happens on this rail. Though the next time we're just going to damage boost over the second version of that rail. One enemy to the right. I did not kill him. I'm looking at the point meter to tell when I killed him. A bunch of golems down this hallway. Let's see if I can get this door tech. Got it. Cool. That's running diagonally into the door to keep my speed. It's very tricky to do door techs, but like I said, it feels really good. And we're just going to chaos control past this section. This is past the small little rail section. It's like we can't control when we get chaos control because, you know, we have to kill every single hero enemy. But luckily that one is just fine. It's not a super good chaos control, but we can't use it anywhere else anyway. Yeah, they want you to go around this, like, this weird outside section, but we can just damage boost over that rail, and I'm pretty sure anyone who's played this game casually has probably done that, so it's kind of a joke. And that's the final enemy. That's Airfleet. Coming in next is Lava Shelter, and we're going to be doing the Dark Mission. This is a fairly recent change to the route. This is the final level of the game. They're both neutral. They both count as neutral endings, so whichever one's fine. The dark, but if I die at any point in the mission, I'm going to switch to the hero mission instead, because I need to have full meter in order to like actually have dark be faster. Have meter by a certain point in the level. In the hero route, you don't need meter at all. So that's, and it's a kind of hard level. It's like a few seconds faster than hero when done optimally, but it's a lot harder. And there's a lot more places to die because the lava is higher in many parts of the level. Also, a new skip that I found like 2 weeks ago that's really cool. So you may notice throughout the run, there's all of these like character cutscenes. The like you see Tails come, and the game's like Tails, and like big letters and stuff. And we can skip the cutscene for Omega in this level. We trigger these enemies behind him, so he attacks them. Because when he's attacking enemies, he can't become automatically affiliated to you, and that would cause him to play the cutscene. So we can skip that by just like triggering them right behind him and then spin dashing on the rail past him. We basically just stealth past Omega, and it's kind of cool. This is a really new skip, and it's only one of those kind that like is actually useful. Shadow Rifle again, because it one-shots the Shadow Androids, enemies, and you can also activate the generators in one shot. By the way, that's the Dark Mission, I didn't explain. The Dark Mission for this level is to activate the lava defense generators, and that you activate them by shooting them, because of course you do. And yeah, so, and the reason why we do need full meter is there's this long vertical climb near the end of the level, and not having full meter, like, if you don't chaos control through it, it wastes 45 seconds. It's really slow. So if I die, I can just switch missions, which is just get to the goal ring, which is a different pathway. By the way, I mentioned before, there's a lot of spin dashing on rails in this level. It's really fast to do. Ooh. I was very unconfident in that spin dash jump for some reason. Did we shoot that? We're jumping over here. This is where the dark path is. I thought I was going to die there for a second. I got really scared. I want to be careful, because last time I did a marathon run, I died on that laser. And it was a thing. And there we go. I killed the fourth, and they're like, there's just a long climb that wastes a lot of time. And we just skip through all of it. And there we go. That's Lava Shelter. Coming up next is Egg Dealer. It's the final boss. It's a really dumb, convoluted, stupid, confusing boss to speedrun. Casually, it's like this weird joke. You just hit him a bunch and he dies. He doesn't even pose a single threat. To actually do him fast, though, is this really convoluted route that does not make sense just watching it, like why things are done. So first, he's this big roulette boss where like you hit him, and if you complete a roulette, he does something and hits himself, basically. But the fastest way to kill him is to get a gun. And to get a gun, we have to force him to fail the roulette by hitting something on the roulette that only we can get, which would be either ring or shadow. And then he'll stop it himself, and that'll fail the roulette, and that'll spawn guns on the battlefield. Then we get Shadow Fever and just, mash at him. Infinite ammo. Good, he got a ring, so I'm going to jump to the middle. Partially, because the gun will always spawn on that side over there. And I might be able to manipulate his movement when he stops. Oh, that's really far back. He doesn't usually stop that far. I don't think I'll be able to... Nope. Alright. If he had stopped closer to where the box was, I might be able to hit him before he turned around. But as it is, I just have to wait. And he got the egg pawns. This is just gonna... There we go. Hopefully... So right now I want to get Shadow, because like I said, that'll give me infinite ammo. Good. Shadow. Awesome. So I'm going to try to mash at his cockpit. This is, I'm not very good at mashing, but... Okay, I got part of the way. There we go. Oh, perfect. And I'm going to get him on bomb. And when he's on the ground, I'm shooting, but time is coming up really soon. time. There we go. That's Shadow the Hedgehog. Egg Dealer actually went really well. That's a very RNG and dumb boss.
Sorry, Doctor, but this is the end for you.
There we go. The ending of this game plays the ending is really weird. Shadow, even though he never saw Eggman until the final level, he realized for the final level, I must be an android created by Eggman. And now that he realized he's an android, he wants to kill Eggman and take over the world with other Shadow androids. Spoiler alert: he's not an android, by the way. So, really silly.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
I made you, and this is how you repay me?
I am Shadow Android, the ultimate life form, a copy of Shadow the Hedgehog. With the power of these emeralds, I will be stronger than him. This is
Oh no, this ending is he wants to be stronger than the original Shadow. The hero version of the neutral ending is he's going to take over the world. As with the androids. I don't know, this game is weird and has dumb story. Anyway, that's Shadow. Thanks for having me.
You don't mind before we transition if I read a few donations?
Go ahead.
Oh, never mind. We've transitioned, so never mind. I'll read them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can read donations. Cool. I have a $25 donation from Last Dancer. Love the vibes out of the gate. Great vibes. $20 from Dolphin, who says, Shadow the Hedgehog can't see green because he didn't eat his veggies. Shake my head. Edge has a cost.
No, it's blue. The green works fine. It's the blue that doesn't. So I guess he doesn't drink his water?
Yeah, we wouldn't want on land drowning or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Sonic can't swim, neither can Shadow. I turned down my game volume a bit because apparently the music was up. Ah. Never mind.
Alright, it seems we're gonna try this again, and I'm gonna words good this time. I have a $25 donation from Last Dancer. Love the vibes out of the gate. Great vibes. $20 from Dolphin. Shadow the Hedgehog can't see green because he didn't eat his veggies. Shake my head. Edge has a cost.
This is actually the blue that does not display, not the green. But, you know, he doesn't drink his water, I guess.
Water is good. Remember everybody to hydrate for every hour that you're sitting here. Where is stay hydrated
Yeah,
bot?
we need to get
Where's my
hydrated bot
bot?
in here.